Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called My 14 Healthy Habits from Living in Sweden, how they're beating obesity. So I'm going to take a wild guess and imagine this person is from the United States. And because I think usually, I'm not sure about the actual the scientific statistics, but I'm pretty sure the USA is one of the, if not probably the country that has the obesity rates that are higher in the world. So I'm gonna guess maybe it has to do something, it has something to do with this. And apparently in Sweden people are very healthy, as in I know that healthy, I know that healthiness doesn't always equates to being thin or fit or athletic. It doesn't really have anything to do with it. There are pretty heavier, there are heavier people that are still pretty healthy. So but because she's talking about obesity, I'm guessing it's gonna be about thinness as well. I don't know, but I'm excited, so let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
1 year ago, I was up late sitting on my couch binging some random documentary on YouTube.
Like you are right now, Becky.
They were showing the rise of obesity around the world, and something caught my curiosity as every country went from yellow to orange to a deep red on the map, indicating a higher percent of its population becoming obese. One country remained yellow, Sweden. As someone who lives half their life in North America and half in Sweden, this definitely caught my eye. Sweden is the country of candy and cinnamon buns, but also the country famous for their tall, beautiful, athletic, blonde citizens. How is Sweden seeming to deflect the fast food marketing influence sedentary lives we've all given to these days? I'm not an obesity researcher, so I can't directly link factors to obesity. I did notice last summer, though, as many North Americans went to Europe for the summer, all over my TikTok, individuals were talking about how they were eating dairy and pasta and breads and not gaining any weight. Having lived between Canada and Sweden,
well, right off the bat, I think usually people, and I think it's just a thing about Europe in general, most countries, because they are more walkable cities. So just the fact that you don't have to use your car to get around somewhere and to get, do whatever little errand, I think that really does make a big difference. Because even if it's just walking and you're not, maybe it's not that you're not used to walking, but I think, again, people, I get usually in America, they, you need to have a car to get around. So the fact that you can't, just walk, you just do a lot less walking in general. And that doesn't mean maybe you're super active and you're yes, I work out a lot. But even if it's just a little uptake of oh, I'm walking more than I used to, that's probably gonna make a difference. So you're gonna be noticing oh, I'm not gaining any weight besides and I'm eating, because gaining weight is just very simple math. It's just your body consumes, needs a certain amount of calories. And if you are going up the amount of calories that your body needs, you're going to be gaining weight. And if you eat fewer calories than what your body needs, you're gonna be losing weight. It obviously varies, depending on the person, your caloric intake, it varies, and how many calories you're actually burning. But that's just the simple math. So, it's probably that. It's oh, I'm not noticing I'm eating. And it's yes, but maybe also as well, I don't know what kind of stuff they put in the food in the United States. And also again, the portions are usually a little bit bigger. And it's something that you're not actually noticing because you're not weighing every single meal that you're having. But usually portion sizes are bigger. And I think that just the food that the stuff that they put in food in general, I think the calories are higher than in other places. So I think that's what I would guess.
In the last 4 years, I have noticed 14 unique things that I think help combat some of the marketing tactics used on us in North America, allowing Swedes to maintain more of a healthy lifestyle. Number 1, the grocery store. Classic American grocery store. You walk in, what's the first thing waiting for you? Hot dogs, eggnog, the seasonal novelty things. And yes, there's vegetables on the side that you see and it looks pretty, but you don't go there, you go straight down the aisle, packaged goods.
Okay, well, hold on. I think it just depends, because if you're so easily influenced that you're just oh, I can't see a pack of Oreos because I'm gonna grab them, well, that's maybe a you problem. I think most people, of course not children, but I think after a certain age, you have to I don't know, get some willpower, or at least be a little less easily influenced. I know it's hard, and sometimes I definitely fall prey to this, but usually as an adult, you're no, I'm not getting this. I don't need it. I'm not really hungry. That's actually a pretty big thing that I've noticed. It's when you're hungry, and you're doing like your groceries, you tend to have like, oh yes, all the fast food, all the junk food, like you're getting, like you're seeing them and you're like you want everything. But if you actually go and do your grocery shopping when you're not actually hungry, I guarantee you, you're gonna make more smarter and like healthier choices, because you're not just like, oh, I want everything. I want the Pop-Tarts. I want the cereal. It's like, no. And again, everything in moderation. Like, it's fine if you have like cereal. Just don't eat it every day.
Classic Swedish grocery stores. You walk in and you're forced to follow a pattern of sorts. And what's the first thing it forces you to go through? Fresh fruit and vegetables. Next, bread. A little trick they do in North American marketing is they put all the cheap stuff right at eye level. They know you'll grab, and it's usually a higher margins for the company.
Good point.
And that usually means not as high quality of food. So the second thing you're going into is the bread. What's at eye level? It's the whole grain, high fiber, high protein. Now, the white...
It's something that I think it doesn't... I'm pretty sure that's just like a thing all over. I don't know if Sweden is the same. But I think all over the world, I think that food that it's like higher in protein or higher in fiber, just like healthier food in general, or low in sugar, they tend to be like more expensive. And obviously it shouldn't be like that. It's just, again, because like she said, like the companies want to gain more money. So they put like the cheaper stuff that are usually filled with like maybe not as healthy stuff. It's cheaper and people are just going to grab that. And obviously like the healthier options are going to be more expensive. So even if you're not, maybe you're like, oh, I want to, but I can't because it's more expensive. So it's like, it's definitely a thing about, well, it's like the companies want to earn money, obviously.
White, almost air-like Dempster bread we all know and love. It's delicious. It does not fill your stomach. I could eat 8 Nutella Dempster sandwiches and it not even make a dent. So of course you're going to overeat it. And where are they in Sweden? Buried at the bottom. Yes, they're there, but you got to search for them. It's not the first thing they want you grabbing.
Good point. I mean, that some people, yeah, sure. Look at those tomatoes.
Number 2, lunch culture. Okay, we love lunch in North America too, but has anyone ever noticed you don't feel as satisfied after? Like, I could definitely go for a Mars bar right after I slam my Chipotle burrito as I run back to the office or beside my computer.
Hopefully you're not eating a Chipotle burrito like every single lunch in your life. Again, fine every once in a while, but please like make your own food at home. It's gonna be healthier, it's gonna be cheaper.
As I work through lunch. Now Swedes, they take their time to enjoy it. There's a true pause in the middle of the day. Everyone leaves the office and actually sits down and has their lunch.
So nice.
They have a lot of these halls.
Are they big on like bringing your own lunch? Because she mentioned like people actually go out and like eat at like a restaurant or some other place. But are they big on like bringing your own lunch, or is that frowned upon, or less, or is like a little weird in Sweden? Like if you're someone like a coworker like brings their own like little, like, yeah, I packed my lunch, and people are gonna be like, oh, they did what? Like, is that weird?
In Sweden, I've noticed, and it's like this bougie adult cafeteria full of high quality lunch bowls and poke and pastas, but everything's good quality and affordable. People are mingling and actually having a true break, not slamming a venti as they run from one meeting to the next. And I have noticed in Sweden, when I take the time to actually have a break for lunch and slowly eat and enjoy conversation, yes, I leave satisfied, and that Mars bar isn't quite as appealing.
Again, because you're eating an actual meal, like filled with like vegetables and carbs and fats. Of course, if you're eating just like a sugary bar, of course you're gonna get hungry like half an hour later. But if you're actually taking the actual time to eat, again, something like a bowl packed with, again, like protein, some sort of protein, carbs, and maybe some fats, like you're gonna do okay. It's like, oh, I'm full. I'm gonna be full for a few hours, as it should be. All this looks
Number
incredible.
3, sports, not diet products. Now, Swedes do have diet products, but it's substantially different than in US. When I go to US or in Canada, we have those whole diet food aisles, and they're sad.
Silly me, I got the diet
I think that's changing a little bit.
It's Weight Watchers.
I think, not Weight Watchers. I think that's the thing of like, does that even exist anymore? I didn't know it was a thing. But I think a lot of like grocery stores are changing. I think like Lidl or Aldi or even Target, like, well, maybe not. Well, yeah, that's all Target. Like, there's not, maybe again, you can just like look around, but it's not like an aisle that's like targeted to dieting. I think that's changed a little bit actually, because in this day and age, that you can just go and you're just like walking down the aisle, and again, it's going to be a lot of choices, but you're going to have like your protein pancake mix, or you're going to have like your drinks of like the ones that are like the poppies or whatever. Like you're gonna have like a lot of other choices, but they're not just like delegated to just like one aisle in general. At least that's been my experience in some like in certain grocery stores. So I don't think that's the case like in this day and age. I think that's changing a little bit.
It's Atkins. It's low calorie, no sugar, no fat,
See, no,
no fat.
I've never seen that.
There's nothing I hate more in the marketing world than the Oreo Thins, the 100-calorie packs that you have that's supposed to satisfy your craving. It doesn't. You eat 5 bags of them and we're never satisfied. Now, they have a couple of those products in Sweden, but I see the replacement of what I would call sport. There's a lot of things that encourage a healthy lifestyle, activity, something you'd have in the middle of a sports game, things that can keep you going throughout your activity, not just try and eat as low calorie as possible.
It appears Team
That's good.
Sweden will clinch the
I like that because again, it's like it's that mindset of not like, oh, I have to be thin. It's like it's not about that. It's just like about fueling your body, and I think that's the right mindset.
gold.
Point 4, cost of food. I was always told Scandinavia is expensive. And
Yeah.
yes, the prices of taxes and gas are extreme. But the cost
Okay.
of basic nutrient-dense food are mind-blowingly cheaper than Canada.
Really?
Example, I recently bought a crate of blueberries here, which costs about $4 Canadian. Now, that is like freaking $7 in Vancouver.
Well, it depends. I think Vancouver, it's just more expensive in general.
Number 5, liquor store hours. Introducing you to Symbolget.
What is
I'm
that?
learning Swedish. I'm on a 53-day Duolingo streak. I could say approximately 4 words. Symbolget, the government-owned liquor store and only place that you can buy liquor in Sweden. Similar to the LCBO in Ontario, Canada's kind of weird. We have some provinces that have government-owned liquor stores, and
really?
other are private, like our Wild Wild West, Alberta. Love you. You're wild. Texas, Canada. Because it's similar to LCBO in Ontario, is government-owned, it has strict hours. Every liquor store in Sweden is only open between 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, and not open on Sundays. Which doesn't seem like much. It's just the less hours open, and
Yeah.
also not having available in grocery stores. You're less likely to just grab a 6-pack or a bottle of wine just for fun. You have to kind of go to your way and plan it to go pick it up.
Okay, well, hold on. Who's what? Well, I don't know. Maybe you're just like mindlessly grabbing alcohol. I don't know. It's like I wouldn't do it. I don't know. It's just like I think it's just like a normal thing. Everyone has like a couple of beers like in their fridge. I think that's just like a normal, or like a bottle of wine at home. Maybe, or, you know, unless like you're in the habit of like, yes, I like having, you know, like my wine with like dinner or something. I think most people just like do that, but it's not like, oh, I'm picking up some wine because I'm running out, or I don't know. I'm not sure if I agree with this. It's like, I don't know, like, would you just like mindlessly grab like a 6-pack? I don't know, if you're not craving beer, or if you don't have it at home, or if you already have at home, why would you do that? Unless it's like super hot outside. Maybe you're just like, I need a beer.
Number 6, my favorite Swedish tradition, which I
one?
adapted way too fast.
Okay.
Swedish candy.
What is that?
A campaign started by dentists a couple decades ago encouraged Swedes to only have their kids eat candy on Saturday to improve their dental health, and
Okay.
it drastically helped. And as these kids
Really?
grew up, it became more of a way of life. It's a tradition to eat candy on Saturday. The analogy
Oh my god, that makes me want to go to Sweden. That would be enough. Like, that looks so fun. Even adults like engage in this.
I would give is like eggnog. Eggnog looks great. Who
Eggnog?
wants eggnog
Yeah, but like eggnog is it's in Christmas, during Christmas.
in July?
Yeah.
The magic is having it on Christmas. And that's kind of how candy is to Swedes on Saturday. And oh my God, their candy stores, you just go in, you get a big bucket, and you fill it however you want, and you just weigh it on a scale.
Oh, I love
And
this.
their candy is superb. They only have it on Saturday. So there's less of the just kind of mindlessly have a Snicker bars at lunch. It's more of like, oop, we're going to have candy on Saturday. And I think that
Again, you shouldn't have like you should have to like reduce the amount of sugar that you're having, you know, in general. I think that you should definitely like do not have this. Like, it's okay if you have it once in a while, but do not have like a Snickers bar like every single day of your life. That's a bad thing. But like once a week, like it's okay. Or have like half of it like one day and half of the other. I don't know. Just don't
just
restrict
naturally
yourself.
limits the amount of sugar consumed throughout the week.
This
I
looks so
realize a
incredible.
lot of people will consider that restrictive. I get that because the nutrition, wellness, fitness industry over in North America, there's a lot of balance and
Yeah.
being able to have something every day, not being restrictive, because if you restrict yourself with something, you're
gonna
overeat
binge it.
when you get it. And I do believe in that, but I think that comes down to a personality, and some people do okay with limiting their consumption throughout the week, and some people that can cause a binge restrict cycle. So it really depends on you, but just what I've noticed in Swedes,
It's true. Like, she makes a really like an excellent point. It's like, that's because I was saying that, but it's true. I think it boils down, like she said, to just like your own personality. And yes, for some people, they're going to be like restriction equals I need to have it right now. But for some people, like this works. So, like, I'm only having it like once a week. It's like, well, yes, if it works for them, like you should definitely do what works for you. Like, more power to you.
It's less of a restrict yourself all week and more of a, something to look forward to on the weekend. Like, you look forward to eggnog in December. You're not thinking in July.
Oh, if only I could have eggnog right now.
Oh, maybe if you're one of those people.
But eggnog is not the same as like this kind of sweets. They look incredible. Oh my god. Look at that. They look adorable.
Number 7, the lack of regular pop. Here's a classic Swedish grocery store drink section. There's 3 sections. One with pop, which only about 1/3 has full sugar, half is sparkling water, and the other half is what I would label sports drinks. Also, it's just like 10 times more likely to see a sweet... There's a lot of diversity in Europe, and so I'm very, very stereotyping, but just my only observation, it's more likely to see someone drinking sparkling water than regular pop.
Soda. To me, it's soda. But yeah, I do agree with her. I think in the USA specifically, I don't know how much in Canada, but I think in the US, like people eat, like they're just, I think it's a cultural thing. They're used to like eating like so much like sodas and like sugary drinks. And I think that's a very specific USA thing, because other places I've noticed, they don't really have this. Like you're drinking, there are other options. And again, a lot of people like drink water, and I know it's just generalizing. Of course, there's going to be sweets that like, oh, they love their Coke or whatever. But it's just like, you know, in general, I do think the US is pretty big of like everyone, like it's very used to just like drinking sodas. It's just like, I don't know why actually, but I definitely agree that it's just like a cultural thing.
Before I go on with this list, I do want to address obesity is complicated. It's not as simple as like,
just eat candy on Saturdays, Kelty. Oh, you solved the epidemic. Wow, it was that simple.
No, I get it. There's social economical problems. There's some people who are raised who just can't afford food. And in lower income families, it is a lot harder for them to afford nutrient-dense food. So pretty much for every calorie lower income family has, there's less nutrients for a calorie of someone who can afford higher quality foods, things that are more nutrient dense, whole, unprocessed food. So it's a lot more likely someone who has money can spend it on fruits and vegetables, organic, grass-fed meats, versus someone who's lower income has to have a bit more packaged canned goods, which are tended to be higher in calories, lower in nutrients. 2.
Yeah, and like it's not like you're blaming people for this. It's because it's a whole, like there's like a lot of like elements of like a lot of economic elements and just like cultural stuff. It's not as easy, but it's not like you're blaming people for this. It's like, no, I'm blaming an obese person, and be just like, oh, stop eating candy every single day. It's like, of course there are a number of reasons, and I think it boils down again to like, there's like, if you really do want to tackle this problem, it's not going to be an individual, like you can obviously you can make some changes, but when it's like a systematic problem, it's like it has to be like on the part of the government that's going to force the companies to actually make things different and make some changes, because it's not as easy as like, oh, just like I'm blaming you. It's you that you're like having, or you're like you're buying like lower pack, like just like low quality food. It's like it's not that easy. It's not that simple.
Hormones, which is a mixture of genetics and nurture. If your hormones are out of whack, it is so hard to just like eat to being satisfied. It's a very complicated subject, but hormones have a great impact, and that can be brought on by your genetics or just how you're raised. 3, how large US is. One of the blessings of Europe is it's small. You can walk or ride your bike everywhere. In the US and Canada too, you pretty much have to drive, and you drive to your desk job, and so you're just not naturally as active, and it's just how you're forced to be. It's not really out of your own choice.
It's true. Like it's out of my control. I literally can't just cross the highway.
Number 8, Swedes. Of course I had to include this for you. Fika. The biggest Swedish tradition, fika, the act of stopping in the middle of the day to enjoy a coffee and sweet treat with a friend. Us North Americans love a coffee and a sweet treat, but it's different how we consume it versus them. We're running around 100 miles per hour, just trying to get a dopamine hit in this rat race amongst traffic. We have no energy and we've overslept, and we just need some kind of hit to keep us from crashing in. And guess what happens? You barely even notice it. You forgot you had that donut. It was just a quick, just transactional dopamine hit. It wasn't a moment to enjoy, and that's what fika is. It's stopping in the middle of the day, having the coffee, a chat with a friend, and enjoying the cake. And it's that act of enjoying it that you actually process. You had this nice sweet treat, and it's not villainizing either. It's just, I think we just have a tendency in North America to shove things down, and we simply forget, because we got a lot. Which also comes into play. There's just a sense of calm in Scandinavia, especially Sweden, which I've spent the most time in. And the only word I have for it is serotonin. I feel more creative. I feel less survival. I feel less of the rat race. They still work really hard, and I'm not taking that away. It's not like everyone's just sitting here having coffee and not working. There's just this sense of peace and enjoying the moment. Number 9, just they start them young. All these things are taught from when they're young. Not just the parents, but the whole community. It's not just how you...
That I think is really important because a lot of those things are like how you were raised. And again, if like in the USA, people are not, again, if specifically like, yes, there are certain specifics, but in general, the kids are not being that active, or unless you usually make them, like a lot of people practice some sort of sport, but it's just like, oh, you're like practicing this sport. I think in them, like their lifestyle is just like more, just like part of your life in general. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm training my 3-year-old because he wants to be like, a soccer player. It's like, no, it's not the case. It's just like, it's a part of your lifestyle. And it doesn't necessarily mean that I have to be like the best at it because it's going to be like, I'm going to be a professional. It's like, no, just like be active in general. But you have to really do start them young, like she mentioned, in order for them to actually grow up having like good habits in general.
You eat, but the joy of an active lifestyle. In Malmo, they have this race that all the kids in the community come, every age just goes a race around the park. This did not look like your average gym recess workout. No, this felt like Coachella for 6-year-olds. There was music playing, there was DJs, there was bouncy castles, there was milk being given out, and it was pandemonium in the best way. I was
That's crazy.
Oh, these kids associate like fitness like a music festival. We associate it with like being yelled at by our gym teacher. And it's just that like love of activity starts at a young age. Number 10, walking and biking everywhere. They love to walk and bike everywhere. And not just that they love, it's accessible. Yeah. In smaller countries, you can bike to work, you can walk to work. There's beautiful bike paths. You're among nature. Yeah. Could we bike places in Canada? Yes. But how many times have I almost been hit by a car in Toronto? 5. I've almost hit 5 times in Toronto. And also when I lived in Edmonton, there's no grocery stores or restaurants or anything for a good 10 kilometers. You gotta drive. Sweet. Yeah, that's Step outside your door, boom, bike path.
And again, those things are out of your control. I can't change us. I can't just make
Number
a
11,
appear.
portion sizes. I love to dabble in a venti. I'm usually a grande kind of girl, but you know what? I will get a venti. Not in Sweden. I feel I would just be looked at like gluttonous.
This girl
really
thinks she needs a venti triple espresso?
They're judging you for your choices?
What you doing?
Calm down.
No one bats an eye at a venti in North America. It's just more practical. You get more. I was recently at the gas station and I went and noticed they don't even have venti. Things don't go above grande. Yes, you can find it. The only analogy I have is, when you go to Vegas and you have those crazy big drinks, like the 2-foot long ones. I feel like drinking a venti on your way to work is like drinking one of those in downtown LA on your way to work. Number 12. The checkout aisle. Now, how many times have you been there? You're checking out your food. You made a grocery list.
Put all the candy.
You wrote it out. You followed it word by word, and you're so proud of yourself. You're so proud of yourself that you see that 99-cent Reese's cup in the checkout aisle. I'm like, you know what?
They put the M&Ms and stuff.
Of course, I fall victim to it every time.
Yeah,
every time. But not in Sweden. What is in Sweden? Mint and gum. So as we are trying to battle the temptation of a 99-cent Reese cup every single time we go to checkout, they just have choices of gum.
At the beginning of this video, I've talked about obesity, gaining weight. I just also want to pop in here and say gaining weight isn't evil. It doesn't make you bad. It doesn't make you unhealthy. Some people need to gain weight to be healthy. And the reality is some need to lose weight. And sometimes weight isn't the problem. It's a symptom of other underhealth-lining things. I don't want to also add to the narrative that fat, gaining weight equals bad. My weight fluctuates throughout the year. Everyone's fluctuates through the year. Yeah. Everyone in Sweden fluctuates throughout the year. That is completely normal. And that's not what this video is. You'll probably notice this video wasn't like, this is how they eat less calories and this is how they lose weight. It's not that. It's the difference I find in North America and Sweden is just this lifestyle. And it's beginning to spread a bit more into Europe. So Sweden is definitely not perfect and Europe is definitely not perfect. That was what stemmed the first documentary I saw, is that, the crisis we're having in the US is spreading. But I just noticed such a lifestyle difference in Sweden and this appreciation of food and this guilt as much. And this appreciation for moving your body and enjoying it. And naturally this joy of movement and food allows a bit more generally healthier lifestyle, but it is a very complex subject. And if you're listening and you really struggle with weight and body acceptance, I just want to say I hear you. You are not bad. You're going through something. I'm on this journey with you, and I don't want you to feel alienated. This video I just found is just kind of eye-opening that I learned when I went to Sweden. It's just like such an appreciation for, lack of better terms, healthy living. Weight is a complicated subject. I've just mentioned a few times on this channel. Yes. I want us to get to the point where hearing weight is not so heavy. I would love it if someone's weight is like hearing someone's blood pressure, hearing someone's heart rate. It's not so heavy. You can talk about it and it not be this burden that you're good or bad or you're feeling or you're not. It's just a number, and there's so many more things. We have to look at our health as a whole. of all the different factors.
Correct.
And it's just 1/100th on there. And I think that's why it is weighted, no pun intended, so heavily, is because for so many years we just had our weight to go off. We didn't have anything else we could look at daily. But now we have Apple Watches. We have more knowledge. We can look at other factors, whether it be our sleep, our heart rate, our blood pressure, our glucose. There's so many other things we can look at aside from just our weight to indicate how our health is. Take
Correct.
this all with a grain of salt when I talked about weight and obesity at the end. It's more about like, how can we just enjoy healthy living?
Our second last point, all ages playing sports. Now, Swedes are token introverts. They hate small talk. How are you supposed to be friends?
Yeah, it's true. She makes a really good point, because what I was speaking about earlier about like children, it's true that I think you eventually like you just stop playing the sport, because it's like, well, yes, I'm not going pro or whatever, so I just stop playing this. But I think in Sweden, yes, it's true, you can just like play a sport just for a hobby. I'm not playing pro or whatever. It's just like I'm doing it for fun. And I think in the US that happens way less. Like I think it's like very few people actually do play a sport as in like, it's my hobby and that's it. Like I'm not having any aspirations about this. I'm just playing this because I like this, and that's it.
Simple. Sports. There's nothing more Swede loves that you can do something with someone without actually having to talk to them. And no better way than a paddle match. They love their sports and activities, and simply how it starts young.
Actually, she again, great point, because it's like, yes, if we're panting and huffing because we're playing tennis, like I'm not gonna be able to have a conversation with you like across the field. But it's like, yes, if we're running together or we're like doing something, it's like, I can't talk to you, sorry, I've gotta run.
It maintains into old age, and it's such a way of them socializing, and I just think it just becomes a part of them, and every age does sports. It's not like the classic North American, if you can make it to grade 6 and stay in organized sports, you're winning. If you make it to grade 9, you are an athlete. Grade 12, hello, practically pro. You make it to university, you're still playing sports, you're like practically a celebrity at that
Correct.
point. And then no one maintains after that. You just get a gym membership. No, in Sweden, it's just a way of life of all ages, keeping up with sports, which is the funnest way to stay active. Don't compare a soccer game to just a 3.
Depends on the personality, because again, it just like, it's very personal. So for some people, I think they really do find that playing a sport, playing basket, playing tennis, playing whatever, like, oh, it's good, I love this, it's very fun for me, it's like a way to move my body. But for others, it's like, I hate this and stop. I rather work out at like a gym or do whatever else and move my body in other ways. But again, it's just a personality thing.
3x12 bicep curl, who's having more fun and wants to show up every Tuesday to do it? Which leads me to my last point, identity. It is cheesy, but if I've learned anything, if you want to make a sustainable lifestyle choice, the easiest way is just to make it a part of your identity. Once it becomes a part of your identity,
oh my God,
you would never change that. It's who makes you who you are, and that's something about Swedes. They identify as healthy, minimalist, and it's a core belief to kind of fit into a standard. It comes down to this identity of,
hold on, and what happens if you're a Swede that doesn't fit into the standard? Would you just feel like an outsider even though you're like Swedish? Oh my God, that's so like, oh my God, that would create like such a like weird like mind situation. That's so strange to me.
Part of being a Swede is living this healthy life. Once it's part of an identity, it's a part of your friend's identity, and once your friends are doing it, it's a lot more likely you're going to stick with it too.
Okay, there's more emphasis in like actually fitting in. I don't know how good that it is actually, but yes, in North America there's more emphasis in to stand out. Yes, I think that's, I guess some other places do have this, but I don't know how good that is actually, because it's like, oh my God, like, no, you shouldn't feel like an outsider, and that shouldn't define you. I don't know.
Not just at a citizen level, but even up to the government and how the governments view their citizens. And that's just the overall difference I've noticed between Sweden and North America, my time living here. Now, this is a very complex topic. There's so many economical, political, race things we could go into. But for me, I just thought, you know what, these are a few little things that I've just noticed where marketing is more heavily influenced in USA, and just this identity here in Sweden, that I just find it so much easier to just live a healthy, balanced life, that you're active and eat nutrient-dense food, but enjoy your little cake and coffee every single day. It's just very admirable. I love Canada, and I love the hustle and the bustle and the craziness that it is. But then I do come to Sweden, and sometimes I'm like, ooh, Is this living? Comment down below if you're Swedish or from Scandinavia, if you resonate with any of these things. If there's other countries you guys would be fascinated about, I love this idea of different cultures and different countries and how they adapt their idea of fitness and wellness and nutrition. And I've always found it super fascinating. So I thought, you know what? After I saw the documentary, I was like, let's dive into it. This is what I noticed, and this is also not fact, this is just observation. Comment down below if you want any other videos similar to this. Have a great day, go pet a dog. Love you guys, bye.
Okay, yeah, like, I like that she has, like, a couple of disclaimers. Like, it's just an opinion. Like, you shouldn't take this as, you know, as, oh, actual science, because she's also just my observation and just, like, my own thoughts. And it's really good. I liked what she also mentioned about, like, being, like, someone's weight is just, like, it's just a number, like, it's okay. It doesn't necessarily mean, like, someone, like, weighs less, then they're healthier than another person that weighs more. Like, again, it's just, like, weight depends on, like, so many different things. And I think at the end of the day, like, how much, like, someone weighs, it's, like, so incredibly, like, meaningless. It doesn't tell you anything, because some people, like, two people can even weigh the same amount, and they can even be at around the same, like, height, and you would assume, like, oh, okay, so how are they the same weight? It's like, yes, exactly, because some people have more muscle, and again, muscle, like, weights more. Or someone, maybe it's like, yes, I'm heavier, but actually I'm healthier than if I weigh, like, less or more. Like, again, it's just, like, so many different factors, and like, that doesn't necessarily mean that someone's healthy. You know, I think there tends to be, like, a cultural thing. I know in recent years, I think that's changed a little bit, but of, like, a lot of people just associate, like, oh, I lost weight, so I must be, like, getting healthier. It's like, no, not necessarily, and not for everyone. And again, it's like being healthy. Like, what does it mean being healthy? It doesn't necessarily mean, like, being of a certain weight. No, it's just like a different, like, there's so many different things and studies and stuff that you can actually judge, like, oh, I'm healthy. And it's just like, you can't actually know this unless, like, they actually run tests, because it's not like, oh, I weighed myself on the scale and I weigh, like, whatever amount, and that's good. No, it's just like what she said. It's just like, it's a number, and it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, such a thing that's like, no, you know, I gained, like, a pound, or I gained 2 pounds, I don't know, whatever. It's like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, this awful thing of, like, oh, I weigh, like, this number. And like she said, it's just the number, and you have to, like, break free of that mindset of, like, a number. And even if that, like, if it like, you can't really know, like, how much I weigh or something, because some people definitely have some troubles with it, and it's like, do not even tell me, because it's like, I can't get over, like, it's just a number, I know, but, like, tell that to my mind. It's like, okay, you don't even have to know this, like, it's okay. But, you know, I think we have to, like, break free of that mentality. But again, it's like, I think a lot of it, like she said, it's just, like, an observational thing. I do find it, like, interesting, a lot of things, especially, like, the sports one, because, like, oh, she mentioned it, because it's true that I hadn't actually noticed, but she's absolutely right. If you're playing in the United States, if you're playing a certain sport, like, as an adult or even as a teen, like, it tells you, wow, you know, this person, it's like, you must be incredibly good. Like, it's not something that people are going to continue into adulthood, because afterwards, like, if you're going to college, like, you go to college and maybe you're still playing that sport, maybe you got a scholarship, and obviously if you got a scholarship, it's like, those are, like, the 5%, like, you have to be, like, so incredibly good at this, and that's what you're going pro, basically. But after college, I think it's it's harder probably to maintain that, because a lot of people, they have to work, so, like, I have to work, and then I can't keep up with, like, the lifestyle, because again, if you're a professional athlete or close to a professional athlete, your lifestyle is going to look very different. And of course, that you have to do something else, and, like, for a job and for actual work, you're not going to be able to actually keep up with this, and that's just, like, a fact of life, and you have to know this. It's like, yes, of course, probably I'm going to be gaining a little weight, because I'm not going to be able to maintain the level of activity that I had back when I could, basically. And that's okay. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It just means, like, again, my lifestyle is changing, and probably I have to adapt, and, you know, my lifestyle is just going to look very differently. But I think a lot of people just, like, leave that a little bit behind, and they're just sort of, like, stop, because if, like, I'm not playing professionally, or if I'm not being, like, so good at this, why would I keep up with this? And it's like, no, the sweets are, like, no, it's just, again, it's something that I actually enjoy and that I like. And I do think, I don't know if, like, what she said of, like, identity, because I think that's just, like, a whole other, like, can of worms. But it's like, I think if you actually do something, like she said, like, again, it's a person, I can't remember if she said it or I said it. It's a personality thing. So if you're actually, like, if you enjoy swimming, and it's like, yeah, swimming, I like it. it's good for my body. I'm moving around. I think everyone should like just like move their bodies around more. And it's like swimming is something that you enjoy. You're not thinking, oh, I have to be like the best at this. No, of course, you're just doing it because it's something that you enjoy. As long as it's something that you actually enjoy doing, and it's not about like, oh, it's my identity, it's my personality. But I think I've always said this is, the best kind of like the way to move your body or be more active is just doing something that you enjoy. Because if it's not something that you actually enjoy doing, like you're just not going to do it, because it's just going to be like, you're maybe going to do it for a while, but it's not going to stuck here in, your brain and your mind, and you're not going to want to do this, because it's like, no, it's like it's something that I don't enjoy. So it's gonna look like homework. It's gonna look like a nuisance that I'm actually don't want to do this. So of course you just have to like find an activity that you enjoy, whether that is a sport or just walking, running, going to the gym, or just like working, do lifting weights. Although cardio is also very important. But again, just like even if it's just like walking, some people, or just doing I don't know, doing whatever, just like moving your body somehow, doing HIIT, who cares? However, like whatever you want to, but it's got to be something that you actually enjoy. But I think the difference is that in Sweden, like they do this like if you're a child. So as a child, you just get used to, and you maybe have the opportunity to try a lot of things. And I think in the US, it's not like that, because it's like again, you're playing a sport. And you have to be like very, they have to like put you on like since you're a kid. And if you show some sort of, if you show like some sort of potential, like that's what it is. But if you're not showing any potential, basically like, well, whatever, like she's like the PE classes are like, they are terrible, and they're like basically a nightmare. And also that's bad, because again, they disencourage you to actually be more active. Because unless, again, if you're playing a certain sport and you're not good at it, it's like, well, whatever, do not do anything, basically. And that's not how it should be. And again, it's like a very cultural thing. And yes, again, like she mentioned, there's like so many like cultural things and cultural changes that is just a marketing as well. I think it just depends on how easily like you're influenced by a lot of things. And like she's like the candy bar, like when you're like in the checkout, in the cashier is like, no, hold on, like I wanna grab like this chocolate bar. And I think again, it's like you have to be like easily influenced by this. It's like we've all fallen prey to this, but I think again in Sweden, like they have, again, it's just a cultural thing. They have like different methods of doing things, and I don't know if it's, well, in this case, I would say it's better, of course, because there's like a thing about, again, not about weight, but just about healthy in general. Like they like Americans like consume a lot of sugar. Like everything's more sugary, and has the products are bigger also as well. And I don't think you actually need to have like that many grams of sugar like in your coffee, for instance. So again, it's a thing about like making changes, and again, you can do as much as you can, but if you want, like she said, it's a systematic problem, it's not gonna be, you're not gonna be able to change it just like one person. You can make changes for yourself, of course, but it's not gonna, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna be part of the statistic, and well, that's a good thing. But again, a lot of people sadly are in this because obesity it's like an actual problem. So if they want to change this, well, they would definitely, the government would actually have to work on this. But what a lot of like, there's a lot of like food for thought in here, and I think you can actually discuss and talk about this like at length. But what my favorite part of the video was like the Swedish like Saturday candy tradition. I need to go there. At least I have to spend like one Saturday in Sweden, because I want to know what candy they have, and I love the fact that it's a Saturday tradition. Like I love it. It's like, oh my god, they're so charming. I love sweets. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.